Seo Yeon and Soo Yeon had a system. When a new nanny arrived, they would wait exactly 3 days before starting the campaign to make her leave. Broken items, silent treatments, tears at strategic moments, it worked every single time because adults were predictable and easy to manipulate. When you were 5 years old and your mother was dead. They had perfected this routine with 11 different women, and they were ready to do it again with whoever their father hired next. What they did not account for was the little boy who walked into their playroom that morning, holding a worn, stuffed giraffe and speaking a language they did not understand. He did not try to hug them or ask them questions or tell them everything would be okay like the others did. He just sat down on their expensive rug and started stacking blocks, completely unaware that he was doing the impossible, making the Korean Mafia boss's untouchable daughters feel safe enough to play. The crystal vase hit the marble floor at exactly 7:30 in the morning, and that made it the 4th one this week. Nanny number 11, a woman named Park Soo-jin, who had worked for 3 ambassador families and written a book on child psychology, was crying in the hallway. Again, her hands shook as she tried to pick up the broken pieces, and her perfectly ironed blouse had orange juice splattered across the front. "I cannot do this," Soo-jin said to Mrs. Lim, the head housekeeper. Her voice cracked. "I have never in 20 years met children like this. They do not throw tantrums. They plan attacks. They are 5 years old and they are smarter than me." Mrs. Lim said nothing. She had stopped trying to comfort the nannies after number 7. Inside the twins' playroom, Seo Yeon and Soo Yeon sat on opposite ends of their expensive imported rug, surrounded by untouched toys that could fund a small car. They were not crying. They were not yelling. They sat in perfect silence, holding hands, staring at the door, waiting for the next person who would try to love them and then leave. Han Jin-woo stood in his office on the floor below, watching all of this on the security monitor. He had not slept properly in 4 years. His tie was already loosened, even though the day had barely started, and there was a file on his desk he had been avoiding for 3 hours. The file had a simple label: New Household Staff. He did not want to open it. He had not personally vetted this one. The placement had come through a third-party agency his secretary had recommended, and Jin-woo hated things he had not personally controlled. But he was out of options. Nanny number 11 was clearly about to quit, and he could not keep leaving work every day at noon because his daughters had made another grown woman cry. His phone buzzed. His second-in-command, a man named Kang, sent a simple message: "She is here." Jin-woo turned off the monitor and went downstairs. He did not expect much anymore. The woman standing in his entrance hall was not what he expected at all. She was small, dark-skinned, and she looked exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with the early hour. Her clothes were clean but old, and she held the hand of a little boy who was half asleep on his feet, leaning against her leg. The boy had his thumb in his mouth, and he was clutching a stuffed giraffe that had clearly been washed so many times it was more gray than yellow. The woman saw Jin-woo and her back straightened immediately. She did not smile. She did not bow too deeply or try to make herself smaller the way nervous people did around him. She just met his eyes for exactly 2 seconds, then lowered her gaze in respect. "Mr. Han," she said. Her Korean was clear but careful, like she was translating in her head. "I am Janelle Harris. Thank you for this opportunity." Jin-woo looked at her, then at the boy, then at Mrs. Lim, who was hovering near the kitchen door. "You were told this is a live-in position," he said. "Yes, sir. You were told the hours are irregular." "Yes, sir. You were told about my daughters." Janelle hesitated for the first time. "I was told they are energetic." Mrs. Lim made a sound that might have been a laugh or a cough. Jin-woo almost smiled. "Almost. Energetic. That is one word for it." He studied her for another moment. She did not fidget. The boy was falling asleep standing up, and she shifted her weight slightly so he could lean on her more comfortably. The movement was automatic, like she did not even notice she was doing it. "Mrs. Lim will show you to your quarters," Jin-woo said finally. "You start immediately." Janelle nodded once. "Thank you, sir." He turned to leave, then paused. "What is your son's name?" "Kofi," Janelle said quietly. "He is 3. He will not be any trouble, I promise." Jin-woo looked at the half-asleep child with the worn-out giraffe and felt something twist in his chest. He ignored it. "See that he is not." Then he left before he could say anything else. "If you are already hooked and want to see what happens when Kofi meets the twins, do me a favor. Tap that like button so I know you are here with me. And if you love a good story with heart, you are in the right place. Let me know in the comments where you are watching from. Now let us get back to Janelle, because her first day is about to get very interesting. The staff quarters were tucked behind the kitchen. Down a hallway, Janelle would learn to navigate in the dark within a week. Mrs. Lim opened the door to a room that was smaller than Janelle's bathroom back in Kampala had been, back when she had a bathroom that was hers. There was a single bed, a narrow dresser, and a window that looked out at the building next door. "The boy sleeps where?" Mrs. Lim asked. Her tone was not unkind, just practical. "With me," Janelle said. "We are used to it." Mrs. Lim nodded. She pointed to a door at the end of the hall. "Bathroom is shared. Meals are at 6, noon, and 7. Staff eat after family. Laundry day is Tuesday. Mr. Han does not like noise after 10 at night." Janelle set down her single suitcase. Everything she owned was in that bag. Everything that mattered was holding her hand. "The twins," Janelle said. "What are their names, Mrs.?" Lim looked at her like she was trying to decide something. Seo-yeon is older by 4 minutes. She does not speak much. Soo-yeon speaks for both of them. They are smart, too smart. "And their mother?" "Dead," Mrs. Lim said bluntly. 4 years ago. Complications in childbirth. The twins do not remember her, but they know she is gone. Mr. Han does not speak of her. Janelle absorbed this. "What happened to nanny number 11? "She will quit by lunch," Mrs. Lim said. "They all do. The twins do not want a nanny, they want their mother. And since they cannot have that, they want nothing." She left, and Janelle stood in the small room with Kofi pressed against her side. She could feel his heartbeat through his back. He was so tired, they both were. They had been tired for 8 months, since the night they left Kampala with 2 bags and did not look back. "Mama," Kofi whispered in Luganda. "I am hungry." "I know, baby," Janelle whispered back. "Let me settle you here, then I will find food." She laid him on the bed, tucked the giraffe under his arm, and covered him with her jacket. He was asleep before she reached the door. In the hallway, she could hear crying again. Nanny number 11 was leaving. Janelle closed her eyes, said a quick prayer, and went to meet the twins. She found them exactly where Mrs. Lim said they would be. The playroom was on the 2nd floor, behind a white door, covered in stickers that were peeling at the edges. Janelle knocked softly, then opened it. 2 identical faces turned to look at her. They were beautiful. That was the first thing Janelle noticed. Small and serious, with their papa's eyes and their missing mother's delicate features. They were both wearing matching pajamas even though it was nearly 9 in the morning, and their hair was uncombed. "Hello," Janelle said in Korean. She did not smile too big. Children could smell fake. "My name is Janelle. I am going to be helping around the house." The twins stared at her. "You are not Korean," the one on the left said. "Suyeon," Janelle guessed. "No," Janelle agreed. "I am from Uganda. It is in Africa." "Are you the new nanny?" Seo-yeon asked. Her voice was quieter. "I am a helper," Janelle said carefully. "I clean, I cook, I do what is needed." "The last helper quit yesterday," Soo-yeon said. "The nanny will quit today. They always quit." "Why do they quit?" Janelle asked. The twins looked at each other. Something passed between them, some silent conversation only they could understand. "Because we are bad," Seo-yeon whispered. Janelle felt her heart crack. She moved into the room slowly, like approaching a scared animal, and she sat down on the floor a respectful distance away. "I do not think you are bad," she said quietly. "I think you are sad and scared and tired of people leaving." Seo-yeon's eyes went wide. Soo-yeon's mouth tightened. "You do not know anything about us," Soo-yeon said, but her voice shook. "You are right," Janelle said. "I do not. But I know what it is like to be scared. And I know what it is like to feel alone, even when there are people all around you." Silence filled the room. Outside, a car horn honked. Somewhere in the house, a door closed. "Do you have children?" Seo-yeon asked suddenly. "I have a son," Janelle said. "His name is Kofi. He is 3. "Where is he?" "Sleeping. In my room. He was very tired from traveling." "Can we meet him?" Soo-yeon asked. Janelle hesitated. Then she made a choice. "If you want. But he is shy, and he does not speak Korean yet, only English and Luganda." "What is Luganda?" "It is one of the languages from my country." The twins looked at each other again. Then Soo-yeon nodded. Janelle stood up. "Come then, but quiet, so we do not wake him." They followed her down the stairs, through the hallway, past Mrs. Lim, who looked shocked to see the twins out of their room voluntarily. Janelle opened the door to her small quarters and put a finger to her lips. Kofi was curled on his side, one hand tucked under his cheek, the giraffe pressed to his chest. His breathing was soft and even. The twins stood in the doorway, staring. "He is small," Seo-yeon whispered. "Yes," Janelle whispered back. "What is the giraffe's name?" "Jira." Kofi is not creative with names yet. Soo-yeon made a sound that might have been a giggle. It was so unexpected that Janelle almost gasped. Then Kofi stirred. His eyes opened slowly, unfocused and confused. He saw Janelle and relaxed. Then he saw the twins and went very still. "Mama?" he said in Luganda. "It is okay, baby," Janelle said softly, switching languages. "These are Seo-yeon and Soo-yeon. They live here. They wanted to say hello." Kofi sat up, clutching Jira. He looked at the twins with big, solemn eyes. Then he held out the giraffe. "Jira," he said simply. Seo-yeon stepped forward slowly. She reached out and touched the worn fabric. "Jira," she repeated. Kofi smiled, and just like that, something impossible happened. Seo-yeon smiled back. Soo-yeon moved closer. "Can we play with you?" Kofi looked at Janelle. She nodded. "Gentle," she said in Luganda. "Be gentle." He slid off the bed, still holding Jira, and walked out into the hallway. The twins followed him, like he was the Pied Piper. Janelle trailed behind, her heart in her throat, watching three children who should have nothing in common find each other in the space of 5 minutes. They ended up in the playroom. Kofi sat down in the middle of the rug and started stacking blocks. He did not ask permission, did not wait for instruction. He just played. The twins watched him for a moment. Then Soo-yeon sat down and handed him another block. Seo-yeon found a toy car and rolled it toward him. Kofi laughed. The sound filled the room like sunlight. Upstairs in his office, Han Jin-woo was on a conference call with Tokyo when his computer monitor caught his eye. He had the security feed running on mute in the corner of his screen, a habit from the early days when the twins were babies, and he was terrified something would happen to them. He glanced at it and forgot what he was saying mid-sentence. The twins were in their playroom. That was normal. What was not normal was that they were playing, actually playing. Seo-yeon was laughing. Soo-yeon was building something with blocks alongside a small boy Jin-woo had never seen before, except for 10 minutes ago in his entrance hall. The new Maid's son, the toddler who could apparently do what 11 professional nannies, 4 child psychologists, and Jin-woo himself could not do: make his daughters happy. He ended the call without explanation, closed his laptop, and went downstairs. When he reached the playroom, he stood in the doorway and just watched. Janelle was sitting against the wall, her eyes on the children, but her posture relaxed in a way it had not been earlier. She noticed him immediately and started to stand, but he held up a hand. "Stay," he said quietly. She settled back down. The children had not noticed him yet. Kofi was showing the twins how to make a bridge with blocks, his little hands demonstrating carefully. Seo-yeon was watching him like he was performing magic. Soo-yeon was already trying to copy him. "Jira helps," Kofi said seriously, propping the stuffed animal against the structure. "Jira is very helpful," Soo-yeon agreed, just as serious. Jin-woo felt something he had not felt in 4 years: hope. Then Seo-yeon looked up and saw him. Her face shuddered immediately, the light going out of her eyes. Soo-yeon followed her gaze and went still. Kofi, oblivious, kept building. "Hello," Jin-woo said carefully. "Hello, father," the twins said together. Their voices were flat. Kofi looked up, saw the tall man in the doorway, and scrambled to his feet. He ran to Janelle and buried his face in her shoulder. She wrapped her arms around him automatically. "It is okay," she murmured. "That is Mr. Han. He lives here. He is Seo-yeon and Soo-yeon's father." Kofi peeked out, looked at Jin-woo, then whispered something in Luganda. "What did he say?" Jin-woo asked. Janelle hesitated. "He said you look sad." The room went very quiet. Jin-woo looked at this 3-year-old boy, who did not speak his language, who had been in his house for less than 2 hours, who had somehow seen straight through him. "Tell him he is very observant," Jin-woo said finally. Janelle translated. Kofi nodded seriously, like this was an acceptable response. "The twins seem comfortable with him," Jin-woo said, addressing Janelle but watching his daughters. "Children recognize other children," Janelle said quietly. "Kofi does not want anything from them. He just wants to play. I think they can feel that." Jin-woo nodded slowly. He looked at Seo-yeon and Soo-yeon, who were still frozen, waiting for him to leave so they could go back to being happy. It hurt more than he expected. "I will be in my office," he said. "Mrs. Lim will bring lunch at noon." He left before anyone could respond. In the hallway, he leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. He pulled out his phone and sent a message to his head of security. "I want a full background check on Janelle Harris. Everything. Where she came from, Why she is here, who she knows. I want it by tonight. Then he went back to his office and tried to focus on work. He could not stop thinking about his daughter's laughter. The day passed in a strange rhythm. Janelle kept the children occupied, fed them lunch when Mrs. Lim brought it, and learned that Kofi's presence was some kind of magic key that unlocked the twins. They showed him their room, their toys, their secret hiding spot behind the curtains. They taught him Korean words, and he taught them English ones. When he got tired, he curled up on the playroom couch and fell asleep, and the twins covered him with a blanket without being asked. Janelle watched all of this and felt terror mixing with relief. This job was supposed to be temporary, just long enough to save money and figure out her next move. She was not supposed to let Kofi get attached. She was not supposed to let herself hope. But here they were. At 7 o'clock, Mrs. Lim came to collect the children for dinner. Mr. Han eats with the twins, she told Janelle. You and the boy eat in the kitchen after. Janelle nodded and took Kofi to wash his hands. When they came back, she could hear voices in the formal dining room. Jinwoo's low tone, the twins' quiet responses. It sounded stilted, painful. She and Kofi ate rice and soup at the small kitchen table. It was the best meal they had had in 3 months. After dinner, she gave Kofi a bath in the shared bathroom, got him into his pajamas, and tucked him into the narrow bed. He was asleep in minutes, worn out from the day. Janelle sat on the edge of the bed and let herself breathe. They had made it through day 1. She was reaching to turn off the light when her phone buzzed. She did not recognize the number. She almost deleted it, but something made her open the message. The words turned her blood to ice. I know what your son's father did. I know why you really left Uganda. Keep quiet about what you see in that house, or immigration gets a very interesting file. There was no signature, no follow-up, just that. Janelle's hands shook so badly she almost dropped the phone. She looked at Kofi, sleeping peacefully for the first time in months, and felt the trap snap shut around both of them. Someone knew. Someone had put her here on purpose, and she had no idea who or why, or what they wanted. She deleted the message with trembling fingers, turned off the light, and lay down next to her son in the dark. Outside the door, she did not know that Han Jin-woo was standing in the hallway, staring at the security report his team had just sent. The report that had more gaps than information. The report that made it very clear Janelle Harris had not stumbled into his household by accident. Someone had placed her here, and Jin-woo was going to find out who. He walked away silently, already making calls. Inside the small room, Janelle held Kofi close and tried not to cry. The first day was over, but the real game had just begun. The next morning, Janelle woke up before dawn with Kofi's foot in her face and a plan that was barely holding together. She would do her job, keep her head down, and figure out who sent that message. Simple, impossible, but simple. She got Kofi dressed and took him to the kitchen. Mrs. Lim was already there, preparing breakfast with the efficiency of someone who had been doing this for decades. The twins will be awake soon, Mrs. Lim said without looking up. They are usually difficult in the mornings. What do they like for breakfast? Janelle asked. They do not eat breakfast. They push food around their plates until Mr. Han leaves for work. Then they go back to their room. Janelle absorbed this. What if Kofi eats with them? Mrs. Lim paused, knife hovering over a cutting board. She looked at Janelle with something that might have been respect. You are smarter than the others. 20 minutes later, the twins came down to the dining room and stopped in the doorway. Kofi was already at the table, swinging his legs and eating rice porridge with so much enthusiasm that half of it was on his face. Kofi, Seo Yan said softly. He looked up and grinned. Hi. The twins slid into their chairs. Janelle served them the same porridge, said nothing, and stepped back. Jin-woo appeared moments later, and he also stopped in the doorway. His daughters were eating, actually eating. Soo-yan was showing Kofi how to hold his spoon properly. Seo-yan was telling him the Korean word for rice. Kofi was listening like they were teaching him the secrets of the universe. Jin-woo sat down slowly. He looked at Janelle, who was standing by the kitchen door trying to be invisible. Their eyes met for exactly 3 seconds. He did not say anything, but something passed between them. Acknowledgement, maybe. Or a question. Then Kofi sneezed directly into his porridge and started giggling. The twins giggled too. The moment broke. Jin-woo ate his breakfast in silence, but Janelle noticed he kept glancing at his daughters, like he was trying to memorize the sound of their laughter. After breakfast, Jin-woo left for work. The twins took Kofi back to the playroom. Mrs. Lim handed Janelle a list of cleaning tasks that would take a normal person 2 days to complete. You have until 3, Mrs. Lim said. Mr. Han has guests coming tonight. The house must be perfect. Janelle looked at the list, looked at the 3 children disappearing up the stairs, and made a choice. I will do my best. She did not finish the list. She got through maybe half of it before Kofi needed a snack. Then the twins needed help finding a toy. Then Su-Yan scraped her knee and wanted Janelle specifically to put the bandage on. By 3 o'clock, Janelle was behind schedule and exhausted. Mrs. Lim found her in the hallway, carrying a laundry basket and trying to keep Kofi from tripping her. The West Wing is not finished, Mrs. Lim observed. I know, I am sorry, I will stay late and finish. Mrs. Lim took the laundry basket from her. The twins ate lunch today, all of it. Seo Yeon asked for seconds. Janelle blinked. Oh, finish what you can. I will handle the West Wing. Ms. Lim walked away before Janelle could thank her. At 6:30, Janelle was getting Kofi ready for bed early when she heard cars pulling up outside. Multiple cars. She went to the window and saw black sedans lined up in the driveway and men in dark suits getting out. These were not business associates. Janelle had seen men like this before, back in Kampala. Men who smiled with their mouths but not their eyes. Men who carried weight that had nothing to do with muscle. She stepped away from the window and pulled the curtain closed. Mama, Kofi said. Who are those men? Just visitors, baby. None of our business. But her heart was pounding because she knew exactly what kind of men they were. And she knew what it meant that they were here. Han Jin-woo was not just a businessman. At 7 o'clock, Mrs. Lim came to Janelle's room. You will serve drinks tonight. I thought I was just cleaning staff. Tonight you are serving staff. Put on the uniform in the closet. Keep your head down. Do not speak unless spoken to. Do not make eye contact. Janelle's stomach dropped. Mrs. Lim, I cannot. I have Kofi. I will watch him. He can stay in my room. He will be safe. The way she said safe made Janelle's skin prickle. What kind of dinner is this, Mrs. Lim looked at her directly. The kind where you do not ask questions. 10 minutes later, Janelle was wearing a simple black uniform and following Mrs. Lim to the formal dining room. Her hands were steady, but her mind was racing. The message from last night burned in her memory. Keep quiet about what you see in that house. Whoever sent it knew she would see something. The dining room was full of men. 15, maybe 20 of them, seated around a table that could have fit 30. Jin-woo sat at the head, his face carved from stone. The conversation stopped when Janelle entered. Every eye in the room turned to her. She kept her head down like Mrs. Lim said and began pouring water, moving around the table as quietly as possible. The men resumed talking, but she could feel their attention on her, assessing, calculating. Jin-woo, one of them said in Korean. His voice was smooth, almost friendly. You did not mention you hired foreign staff. I hire who is competent, Jin-woo replied. His tone was ice. Of course. But you know how people talk. A woman living in your home, caring for your daughters. It creates impressions. Janelle's hand shook slightly as she poured. Water splashed on the table. She grabbed a napkin immediately to wipe it up. Are you suggesting I need permission to run my household, Kang? Jin-woo's voice was soft. Dangerous. The man called Kang smiled. Not at all. I am simply saying appearances matter, especially now with the Yoon family proposal on the table. Janelle moved to the next seat, trying to disappear into the wallpaper. The Yoon proposal is not a proposal. It is a business arrangement, Jin-woo said. And I have not agreed to anything. Perhaps you should consider it more seriously. Yoon Mi-ran is an excellent match. Well-educated, well-connected, and her family's territory complements ours perfectly. A marriage would solidify the alliance. I am not interested in marriage. Your daughters need a mother. The room went very quiet. Janelle was near Jin-woo's chair now, refilling his glass. She did not look at his face, but she could feel the tension radiating off him like heat. My daughters have what they need, Jin-woo said finally. Do they? Another man spoke up. I heard you have gone through 11 nannies. Children need stability, Jin-woo. They need family. Janelle finished pouring and stepped back. She made it 3 steps toward the kitchen before Kang spoke again. You there, girl. She stopped, turned slowly. Yes, sir. Where are you from? Uganda, sir. And how did you come to work for Mr. Han? This was a test. She could feel it. Through an employment agency, sir. Which agency? Jin-woo cut in before she could answer. That is enough. She is here to serve drinks, not be interrogated. Kang leaned back in his chair, still smiling. Of course, my apologies. I am simply curious. It is unusual, that is all. Janelle was dismissed with a wave. She went back to the kitchen and stood there trying to calm her breathing. Mrs. Lim was preparing the next course and did not look at her. Who is Kang? Janelle whispered. Mr. Han's second in command. He has been trying to control Mr. Han's personal life for 3 years. Mrs. Lim's mouth was a thin line. He wants the Yoon marriage because it benefits him. And what does Mr. Han want? To be left alone. To raise his daughters in peace. But men like him do not get peace. Janelle carried the next course out and kept her head down. The conversation had moved to business, numbers and territories and shipments. She tried not to listen, but some things were impossible to ignore. They were not talking about legal shipments. By the time dessert was served, Janelle's feet hurt, and her mind was spinning. She had just witnessed something she absolutely should not have witnessed. These men were not business partners. They were part of something bigger, something darker, and Jin Woo was at the center of it. The dinner finally ended at 10. The men filed out, still talking in low voices. Kang was the last to leave. He paused in front of Jin Woo. Think about the Yoon proposal, he said. It would solve many of your problems. Or create new ones, Jin Woo replied. Kang smiled. Only if you let it. When the house was finally empty, Janelle helped Mrs. Lim clean up. They worked in silence until Mrs. Lim spoke. You did well tonight. Not many people can stay calm in a room full of sharks. I have practice, Janelle said quietly. Mrs. Lim looked at her with sharp eyes. Yes, I think you do. Janelle went to collect Kofi from Mrs. Lim's room. He was asleep on her couch, curled around Hyra. She carried him back to their room and laid him down gently. Her phone was on the dresser. There was a new message. You saw them tonight. You know what he is now. This is your only warning. Do what you are told or your son pays the price. Janelle deleted the message with shaking hands. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run, but she had nowhere to go and no one to run to. She climbed into bed next to Kofi and stared at the ceiling. Across the house, Jinwoo sat in his office reading the updated background report on Janelle Harris. It was worse than he thought. The employment agency that placed her did not exist 6 months ago. Her visa had been expedited through channels that should not have been available to her. Her previous employer in Seoul had no record of ever hiring her. Someone had built her a false trail. Someone had placed her in his house deliberately. The question was why? To spy on him? To harm his daughters? To create exactly the kind of scandal Kang had mentioned tonight? Jin Woo pulled up the security footage from dinner. He watched Janelle move through the room, watched the way she kept her shoulders back, even though she was terrified. Watched the moment Kang spoke to her and she did not break. She was scared, but she was not weak. He rewound to earlier in the day. Watched her with the twins, with her son. The way she touched Seo Yeon's hair when she put the bandage on her knee. The way she let Kofi interrupt her work every 10 minutes without getting frustrated. Either she was an incredible actress, or she genuinely cared. Jinwoo did not believe in genuine anymore. He had been burned too many times, but he wanted to believe in her, and that was the most dangerous thing of all. He made a call. I want surveillance on Janelle Harris, her phone, her movements, everything, and find out who is sending her messages. I know someone is. Then he sat back and rubbed his eyes. He had not slept properly in 4 years, and tonight would be no different. Down the hall, he could hear one of the twins crying. Nightmare, probably. He got up to go to them, but stopped when he heard a door open. Janelle's door. He watched on the monitor as she padded down the hallway in bare feet and pajamas, went into the twins' room, and sat on Seo Yeon's bed. She did not turn on the light. She just hummed something soft and low and stroked Seo Yeon's hair until the crying stopped. Jinwoo stood in his doorway and listened to a stranger comfort his daughter. When Janelle came back out, she nearly ran into him. She gasped and jumped back. I am sorry, she whispered. I heard her crying, I thought. I should not have, I am sorry. You helped her, Jinwoo said. I did not mean to overstep. They stood in the dark hallway, close enough that Jinwoo could see the exhaustion in her face, close enough to see the fear she was trying to hide. You did well tonight, he said quietly. At the dinner. I just served drinks. You did not ask questions. You did not react. That takes discipline. Janelle met his eyes. I have had practice keeping my head down, Mr. Han. I know, he said, and watched her expression shift to panic before she could hide it. I read your file, Janelle. What little there is of it. She went very still. I do not know what you mean. I think you do. I think someone placed you here, and I think you are just as trapped as you look." Her breath caught. For a moment he thought she might tell him the truth. Then she stepped back. "I need this job," she whispered. "Please. Whatever you think I am not. I am just trying to survive. Kofi and I have nowhere else to go." Jinwoo studied her. "Who is threatening you?" "No one." "Mr. Han, please." He could push. He could demand answers. Threaten to call immigration. Force her hand. But something stopped him. Maybe the way her voice broke. Maybe the memory of his daughters laughing at breakfast. "I am going to find out the truth," he said finally. "Whether you tell me or not. But until then, you will continue your job. You will take care of my daughters. And if anyone contacts you, anyone at all, you will tell me immediately. Why would you let me stay if you think I am a threat? Because my daughters ate breakfast this morning, for the first time in 6 months. Because Seo Yeon let you touch her without flinching. Because I think you are a pawn in someone else's game, not a player." He turned to go back to his office, then paused. "And because whoever is using you made a mistake. They assumed I would not notice, or I would not care. They were wrong on both counts." He left her standing in the hallway. Janelle went back to her room, climbed into bed, and finally let herself cry as quietly as possible. "Okay, I need you to pause for just a second. I know this is getting intense, and you are probably wondering what happens next. If you are feeling the tension like I am, leave a comment and tell me what you think Jinwoo should do. Should he trust Janelle or investigate her more? Your theories keep me going. Now let us get back to the story because things are about to get even more complicated." The next few days passed in a strange rhythm. Janelle took care of the twins and Kofi during the day. Jinwoo worked long hours and came home to dinners where his daughters actually talked to him, because Kofi was at the table babbling in broken Korean and making them giggle. At night, Janelle received messages, sometimes instructions, sometimes threats. She deleted them all and said nothing. Jinwoo knew. She could tell by the way he watched her, but he kept his word and let her stay. The investigation was happening in the background. She could feel it. Men in suits appeared at odd hours. Mrs. Lim asked careful questions about her previous jobs. The household driver suddenly wanted to know about her family back home. She gave them nothing because she had nothing to give. On the 5th day, a woman arrived at the penthouse at exactly 2 in the afternoon. She was beautiful in a way that was carefully constructed, elegant suit, perfect hair, and a smile that did not reach her eyes. Mrs. Lim answered the door and her expression went carefully neutral. "Miss Yoon, Mr. Han is not expecting you." "I know. I thought I would surprise him." "Is he here?" "He is in his office." The woman, Miss Yoon, walked in like she owned the place. She spotted Janelle coming down the stairs with a laundry basket and stopped. "Oh, you must be the new help." "Yes, ma'am," Janelle said quietly. "From Africa, I heard." "How interesting." The way she said interesting meant the opposite. "Where are the children?" "In the playroom, ma'am." "I will go see them." "Jinwoo has been so busy, I have not visited in weeks." She walked past Janelle like she was furniture. Janelle stood there holding the laundry and trying to process what just happened. Mrs. Lim appeared at her elbow. "That is Yoon Mi Ran, the woman they want Mr. Han to marry." "She seems nice," Janelle said, and Mrs. Lim actually laughed. "She is a snake, pretty to look at and deadly when threatened." Upstairs, Mi Ran opened the playroom door and found the twins building a tower with Kofi. They looked up and their faces went blank. "Hello, girls," Mi Ran said warmly. "Do you remember me?" "Yes," Soo-yeon said. Seo-yeon said nothing. "Who is this?" Mi Ran gestured to Kofi. "Kofi," Soo-yeon said. "He is our far friend. How sweet." "Mats, where is his mother?" "Working," Seo-yeon whispered. Mi Ran's smile tightened. She stayed for exactly 10 minutes, tried to engage the twins in conversation, and got one-word answers. When she left, she went straight to Jinwoo's office. He was on the phone when she walked in. He held up one finger, finished his call, and looked at her with no expression. "Mi Ran, this is unexpected. I was in the neighborhood. I wanted to see the girls. You could have called first. Since when do I need an appointment?" She sat down across from him, crossing her legs carefully. "Jinwoo, we need to talk." "About what?" "About the fact that you have a foreign woman living in your home, and people are starting to notice." Jinwoo leaned back in his chair. "People need to mind their business. You know it does not work that way. Your position requires a certain image. Having an unmarried woman under your roof, especially one with a child, it looks bad." "She is an employee." "Is she?" "Because I just saw the way your daughters look at her. They are attached, Jinwoo." "What happens when she leaves?" Who says she is leaving? Miran's eyes flashed. Then what is she? If she is not temporary, what is her role here? That is none of your concern. It is my concern when my family is trying to build an alliance with yours. It is my concern when gossip blogs are posting photos of her going to the market with your daughters. It is my concern when you are jeopardizing everything we have worked toward. Jinwoo stood up slowly. We have not worked toward anything, Miran. Your father and Kang have worked toward something. You and I have been pawns in their game. But I am done playing. What does that mean? It means I am not marrying you. It means I am not merging our families. It means you need to tell your father to find another strategy. Miran stood too, her composure cracking. You are making a mistake. My family has been patient, but patience has limits. Is that a threat? It is a fact. You need allies, Jinwoo. The council is divided, your enemies are circling, and you are worried about some maid from Uganda? Get your priorities straight. She left before he could respond. Jinwoo sat back down and pulled up the security footage. He watched Janelle in the playroom with the children. Watched the way Kofi leaned against her leg while she read them a story. Watched his daughters, who had not smiled at Miran once, laughing at something Janelle said. His phone buzzed. A message from his head of security. We traced one of the messages to Janelle's phone. It came from a burner, but the location ping puts it inside the Yoon family building. Jinwoo stared at the message for a long time. Then he made a decision. He found Janelle in the kitchen helping Mrs. Lim prepare dinner. I need to speak with you. My office now. Janelle's face went pale, but she nodded. She followed him upstairs, her heart pounding. He closed the door behind them and turned to face her. I know about the messages, he said. Janelle's knees went weak. Mr. Han, I can explain. Can you? Because I would very much like to hear how you explain being blackmailed by the Yoon family while living in my house and taking care of my children. The Yoon family? I do not even know who they are. The woman who was here today, Yoon Miran, her family is behind the messages. They placed you here. Janelle sat down before she fell down. Why? I do not understand. Why would they do that? Jinwoo watched her carefully. Because they want me to marry Miran. Having you here creates a scandal that forces my hand. If I get rid of you, I look cruel. If I keep you, I look weak and improper. Either way, they win. I did not know, Janelle whispered. I swear, I did not know. The agency said it was just a job. I needed work. I never meant to be part of anything. What are they holding over you? She looked up at him with tears in her eyes. Kofi's father. He is not a good man, Mr. Han. He did things, bad things, and I took Kofi and ran. But he has connections, and if immigration sends me back to Uganda, he will find us. The messages said they would make sure that happens if I do not cooperate. Cooperate how? Janelle pulled out her phone with shaking hands and showed him the messages she had not deleted yet. Jinwoo read them, his expression getting darker with each one. Plant the device, report his schedule, photograph documents. Did you do any of this? He asked quietly. No, I could not. I tried. I stood outside your office with a device in my pocket, but I could not do it. Not to you. Not to the twins. Why not? Because you have been kind to us. Because your daughters deserve better than to be used as weapons. Because I am tired of being afraid and I am tired of hurting people to survive. Jinwoo sat down across from her. They were close enough that their knees almost touched. I believe you, he said. Janelle's breath caught. You do? Yes, which means we have a problem. The Yoons think you are their asset. If they find out you are not, they will either eliminate you or use you differently. Neither option is acceptable. What do I do? Jinwoo leaned forward. You trust me. And we set a trap. Janelle stared at Jinwoo like he had just suggested they fly to the moon. A trap? Mr. Han, these people are dangerous. They have money and power, and I have nothing. You have me, Jinwoo said simply, and that is more than they bargained for. Why would you help me? You barely know me. I know enough. I know you have been sleeping in the hallway outside my daughter's room when they have nightmares because you can hear them cry through the walls. I know you give half your lunch to Kofi even when you are still hungry. I know you are terrified every single day, but you get up and smile for the children anyway. He paused. I know what it looks like when someone is trying to protect the people they love. I see it in the mirror every morning. Janelle's eyes filled with tears. What do you want me to do? Exactly what they told you to do. Plant the device, take the photos, report my schedule. But everything you give them will be fake, controlled by me. We make them think they are winning while I figure out how deep this goes and who else is involved. And if they find out, They will not, because you are a better actress than they know. Jinwoo's mouth almost curved into a smile. You have been pretending not to be scared for months. A few more weeks will not kill you. You have a lot of confidence in me, Mr. Han. I have a lot riding on being right about you. If I am wrong, I lose everything, so do not make me wrong. It was not exactly a vote of confidence, but it was honest. Janelle appreciated that more than empty promises. Okay, she said quietly. Tell me what to do. Over the next 3 days, Jinwoo and Janelle became conspirators. He gave her a duplicate device to plant in his office, one that would feed false information. He left documents on his desk for her to photograph, documents his tech team had created specifically for this purpose. He gave her a schedule that was real enough to be believable, but useless enough to be safe. Janelle passed everything to her blackmailer through a dead drop, a trash bin in a park 3 blocks away. She never saw who picked it up. They are being careful, Jinwoo said when his security team reported back. Professional. This is not amateur hour. That makes me feel so much better, Janelle muttered. They were in his office late at night, going over the next phase. Kofi was asleep in her room, the twins were asleep in theirs, and the house was quiet except for them. You are doing well, Jinwoo said. I know this is not easy. I have done harder things. Janelle rubbed her eyes. She was exhausted. At least here I know who the enemy is. Back in Uganda, I never knew who to trust. What happened there? Jinwoo asked quietly. You do not have to tell me, but it might help me protect you better, if I know. Janelle was quiet for a long moment. Then she started talking. Kofi's father is named David. When I met him, I thought he was successful, ambitious, kind. By the time I realized what he really was, I was already pregnant. He was involved in fraud, embezzlement, working with people who made problems disappear. When I tried to leave the first time, he told me I would never see my son again, so I stayed. Her voice was flat, like she was reading a grocery list. It was the only way she could get through it. Then one night, David came home covered in blood. Not his blood. He told me we were leaving the country, that something had gone wrong and we needed to disappear. I asked what he did. He told me it was better if I did not know. That is when I knew if I stayed, Kofi would grow up thinking that life was normal. So I took him and ran. I had been saving money secretly for months. I got us to Kenya, then South Korea on a work visa that was barely legal. I thought we were safe. And then the messages started. Jinwoo finished. Yes, someone knew exactly where I was and exactly what would scare me most. Losing Kofi. Being sent back. She looked at Jinwoo directly. I am not a spy, Mr. Han. I am just a mother trying to keep her son safe. That is all I have ever been. Jinwoo was quiet for a moment. My wife died giving birth to the twins. Hemorrhage. The doctors said it was rare. Unpredictable. No one's fault. But I blamed myself anyway. I had brought her into this life, this world. The stress of being married to someone like me, it could not have helped. Janelle had not expected him to share anything personal. She stayed very still, afraid if she moved he would stop talking. The twins remind me of her every single day. Same eyes, same smile when they actually smile. For a long time, I could barely look at them without feeling guilty. So I hired people to do what I could not. Love them, raise them, be there for them. And every single person left because I had turned my daughters into strangers. They did not trust anyone because I taught them not to. They trust Kofi, Janelle said softly, because he does not know any better. He just sees 2 other kids who want to play. He does not see their mother's ghost or my failures. He sees them. Jinwoo looked at her. And you see them too, not as a job or an obligation. You actually see them. They are good children, Mr. Han. They are just sad. So am I. The admission seemed to surprise him as much as her. I have been sad for 4 years, and I did not realize how heavy it was until I heard Seo Yeon laugh at breakfast last week. It was like someone turned on a light I forgot existed. They sat in the quiet office, 2 people carrying grief they had never asked for, and for the first time in months, Janelle felt less alone. We should probably sleep, she said finally. Tomorrow will be long. Tomorrow I have a council meeting. Kang will push the marriage again. He always does. What will you say? What I always say. No. Jinwoo stood up. But eventually, no will not be enough. They will force the issue or they will remove me. That is how this works. Can they do that? Remove you. If enough of the council votes against me. Yes. My father built this empire, but he also built it on alliances. If those alliances break, so does everything else. Janelle stood too. They were close enough that she had to tilt her head back to look at him. Then we make sure they do not break. We? Jin Woo's eyebrow raised slightly. You said I am part of this now, so yes, we. Something shifted in his expression. Something warm that made Janelle's heart beat faster. You should go, he said quietly, before I do something unprofessional. Like what? Like forget you work for me. The air between them changed, charged. Dangerous. Janelle stepped back. Good night, Mr. Han. Jin Woo, he said. When we are alone, you can call me Jin Woo. She fled before she could do something stupid like stay. The council meeting the next day was exactly as brutal as Jin Woo predicted. Kang brought up the marriage in front of everyone, complete with a presentation on how the alliance would benefit the family financially and politically. Yoon Mi-ran's father was there, smiling like a shark. The match is advantageous for everyone involved, Kang said smoothly. Mi-ran is educated, well-bred, and ready to step into the role of mother to your daughters. The wedding could happen within 2 months. I have not agreed to this, Jinwoo said coldly. You have not disagreed either. Your silence is creating instability. The family needs clarity. The family needs to remember who leads it. A leader who puts personal comfort over strategic necessity. Another council member spoke up. That is not leadership, Jinwoo. That is selfishness. Jinwoo's jaw tightened. My personal life is not up for a vote. Actually, Yoon Mi-ran's father said pleasantly, according to the family charter, major decisions that affect stability can be brought to council vote. Marriage of the head of family qualifies. Jin Woo saw the trap too late. They had planned this. You want to vote on whether I marry your daughter. We want to vote on whether the family moves forward with this alliance. If the vote passes, you have 30 days to announce the engagement or step down. The room went silent. Jin Woo looked round the table. Half these men owed their positions to his father. The other half owed their lives to him. But fear and greed made people forget loyalty very quickly. Fine, he said. Call the vote. It was closer than it should have been, but the result was clear. The alliance won. Jin Woo had 30 days. When he got home that night, he went straight to his office and closed the door. He sat in the dark for 20 minutes before there was a soft knock. Come in, he said, already knowing who it was. Janelle entered with a tea tray. Mrs. Lim said you might need this. Mrs. Lim is a meddler. Mrs. Lim cares about you. Janelle set the tray down. What happened? They voted. I have 30 days to get engaged to Mi-ran or I lose everything. Janelle sat down slowly. Can they really do that? Apparently, yes. My father set up the charter to prevent one person from having absolute power. He was trying to protect the family. Instead, he gave them a way to control me. What will you do? Jinwoo looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman who had stumbled into his life by accident and changed everything without trying. This woman who made his daughters smile and who stood up to men twice her size without flinching. This woman who was braver than she knew. I am going to burn it all down, he said quietly. The Yoons, the blackmail, the forced marriage, all of it. But I need more time. How much time? More than 30 days. He ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. The trap is working. They think you are cooperating. But I still do not have enough evidence to prove the Yoons orchestrated this. Without proof, it is just my word against theirs. Then we get proof. How? Janelle thought for a moment. The person who sends me messages, they have to know details about the Yoon family operation. What if I ask questions? Push back a little, see if they reveal something useful? That is dangerous. So is losing your family because you were too careful. Jinwoo studied her. You have gotten braver since you arrived. I have gotten tired of being scared. There is a difference. He almost smiled. All right, but carefully. If they suspect anything, you pull back immediately. Deal. The next message came 2 days later. Janelle responded instead of just following orders. Why do you want this information? What are you planning? The response came back within an hour. Do what you are told. Questions will get your son hurt. Janelle's hands shook, but she typed back. I have done everything you asked. I deserve to know why. There was a long pause. Then, you deserve nothing. But if you must know, Han Jinwoo has something that belongs to the Yoon family. We are simply taking it back. What does he have? Half power, respect, territory that should have been ours. Your job is not to understand, it is to obey. Now get back to work. Janelle showed the exchange to Jinwoo. He read it 3 times. Power, respect, territory, he muttered. That could mean anything. Half the families in the council have old grudges about territory. But it sounds personal, Janelle said. Like this is about more than just business. Jinwoo pulled up files on his computer. My father absorbed 3 smaller organizations when he was building the empire. One of them was the Yoon family's original operation. They were going bankrupt, he gave them a way out, but they lost their independence in the process. So this is revenge? Revenge, a power grab, both. If Fana's father can force me into a marriage, his grandchildren become my heirs. Everything my father built goes to the Yoons eventually. That is a very long game. These families think in generations, not years. Janelle sat back. So what do we do? Before Jinwoo could answer, his phone rang. It was his head of security. We have a problem. Someone leaked photos to a gossip site. You need to see this. Jinwoo pulled up the website on his computer. His face went pale. The photos were of Janelle and the children at the park. Innocent photos, except for the headline, Mafia Boss's Secret Family. Mystery woman and foreign child living in luxury. The article was vicious. It implied Janelle was Jinwoo's mistress, that Kofi was possibly his illegitimate son, that he was hiding a whole second family while negotiating marriage to Yoon Mi-ran. None of it was true, but all of it was believable enough to be damaging. This is them, Janelle whispered. The Yoons. They are escalating. Jinwoo was already making calls. Kang, I need damage control now. No, I do not care what time it is. Yes, I saw it. Handle it. He hung up and looked at Janelle. You and Kofi need to leave the house for a few days. This is going to get worse before it gets better. Leave? And go where? I have a safe house across the city. Mrs. Lim will go with you. The twins stay here with me. The twins will panic if I disappear. The twins will be in danger if you stay. The press will camp outside. People will ask questions. And I cannot protect all of you if you are all in the same place. Janelle wanted to argue, but she knew he was right. How long? A week. Maybe less. Just until I can control the narrative and figure out who leaked the photos. I already know who leaked them. Knowing and proving are different things. Jinwoo stood up. Pack a bag. Mrs. Lim will drive you tonight. 2 hours later, Janelle was in a car with a sleeping Kofi in her lap, heading to a place she had never been, leaving behind the only stability she had found in months. Mrs. Lim drove in silence. The safe house was a small apartment in a neighborhood Janelle did not recognize. Clean, furnished, anonymous. Mr. Han owns 3 of these, Mrs. Lim said as she unlocked the door. For emergencies, the refrigerator is stocked. Do not leave unless absolutely necessary. Do not answer the door for anyone except me or Mr. Han. How will I know it is you? Mrs. Lim showed her a code phrase. I will say, the tea is ready. You say, but I prefer coffee. Anything else, do not open the door. Janelle put Kofi to bed in the small bedroom and sat on the couch staring at the unfamiliar walls. Her phone buzzed. Jinwoo, are you settled? Janelle, yes, Kofi is asleep. How are the twins? Jinwoo. Seo-yeon cried when she realized you were gone. Soo-yeon's not speaking to me. Janelle, I am sorry. Jinwoo, not your fault. I will fix this. I promise. Janelle wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe this would all work out, and they would go back to their strange little routine of breakfast and playtime and quiet moments in dark offices. But life had taught her that promises were just pretty words people said before they left. She fell asleep on the couch and dreamed of Kampala. Jinwoo spent the next 3 days putting out fires. The gossip article had exploded across social media. Half the comments were people defending him. The other half were calling for his head. The council was in chaos. Kang was furious. Yoon Mi-ran showed up at his office looking like she might murder someone. Is it true? She demanded. Is what true? Any of it. The woman, the child, the secret family. Janelle is my employee. Her son is 3 years old. I have known her for 2 weeks. You do the math. Mi-ran's face was red. Then why is this happening? Why is my family being humiliated? Your family is not being humiliated, Mi-ran. They are the ones doing the humiliating. This leak came from inside your father's operation. That is ridiculous, is it? Because the photos were taken by a professional, not a random person with a phone. Because the article was planted on a site your family has used before for dirty work. Because this benefits exactly one person, your father, who now has public pressure to force my hand on this marriage. Moran sat down slowly. You think my father did this? I know he did. The question is whether you knew. She looked genuinely shocked. I did not. Jinwoo, I swear, I did not know. He studied her face. She was a lot of things, but she was not a good liar. Then you need to decide whose side you are on. Because this is about to get very ugly. That night, Jinwoo went to the safe house. He used the code phrase. Janelle let him in, and Kofi ran straight to him like they were old friends. Mr. Han, Kofi wrapped his arms around Jinwoo's legs. I missed you. Something in Jinwoo's chest cracked open. He picked the boy up awkwardly. I missed you too. Janelle watched this tall, dangerous man hold her son like he was made of glass and felt something shift inside her. Something terrifying and wonderful. How are the twins? She asked. Miserable. Seo Yan has not eaten properly in 3 days. Su Yan had a tantrum this morning that lasted 2 hours. They hate me. They do not hate you. They just miss us. Same thing from their perspective. Jinwoo set Kofi down. I have news. Mi-ran did not know about the photos. Her father is acting independently. Does that help us? It might. If I can turn her against him, I can split their family alliance. Without Mi-ran's cooperation, the marriage vote becomes meaningless. Will she turn on her own father? If she thinks he is using her as a pawn, maybe. Mi-ran has pride. No one likes being manipulated. Kofi tugged on Jinwoo's hand. Come see my room. I have Gira. Jinwoo let himself be dragged away. Janelle followed and found him sitting on the floor of the tiny bedroom, listening to Kofi explain the entire plot of his favorite bedtime story in broken Korean and English. She leaned against the doorway and watched. Jinwoo's tie was loosened, his jacket was off, and he was not nodding seriously at whatever Kofi was saying about a giraffe who wanted to be a superhero. You are good with him, Janelle said softly. Jinwoo looked up. He is easy to be good with. He does not expect anything except attention. That is all any child wants. I know, I am just very bad at giving it. You are here now, that counts. After Kofi fell asleep, they sat in the small living room and Jinwoo told her the plan. He would confront Yoon Mi-ran's father directly, present the evidence of the blackmail in the photos, and force him to back down. And if he does not back down, Janelle asked, then I go to war. Real war. The kind that destroys families and burns down empires. You would do that? To protect my daughters? Yes. To protect you and Kofi? He paused. Yes, Janelle's breath caught. Jinwoo, you barely know us. I know enough. I know you are brave and kind and you love your son more than anything. I know you have been dealt a terrible hand and you keep playing anyway. I know that when I come home and see you with my daughters, something in me feels less broken. He looked at her directly. I know I have not felt this way about anyone since my wife died, and it terrifies me, but I am done pretending it is not happening. The room was very quiet. I am your employee, Janelle whispered. This is not appropriate. Nothing about this situation is appropriate. But I stopped caring about appropriate the moment Seo Yan smiled at your son. Jinwoo, tell me you do not feel it too, and I will leave right now. I will keep you safe, I will end the Yoons, and then I will help you find a new job far away from me. Just say the words. Janelle opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. She could not say the words, because somewhere between the terror and the exhaustion and the strange intimacy of late-night conversations, she had fallen for this sad, serious man who loved his daughters so much it hurt him. I feel it, she admitted, but it is complicated. Everything is complicated. You are going to marry Mi-ran in 3 weeks, not if I can help it. And if you cannot help it, Jinwoo leaned forward, then I will find another way. Because I am not losing this. Not again. He left before either of them could do something they might regret. Janelle sat alone in the quiet apartment and wondered when her life had turned into a drama. All right, we are in the home stretch now and I cannot wait to see how this ends. But before we get there, if this story has you on the edge of your seat, hit that subscribe button. I post stories like this all the time and trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming. Also, drop a comment and tell me, are you Team Jinwoo or do you think Janelle should run while she still can? Now let us finish this story. The confrontation happened 4 days later in a private room at a restaurant that was too expensive to have prices on the menu. Jinwoo arrived with his lawyer and his head of security. Yoon Mi-ran's father arrived with his own team and a smile that did not reach his eyes. Jinwoo, he said pleasantly, you wanted to meet? I want you to stop, Jinwoo said bluntly. The blackmail, the photos, the manipulation, all of it. I have no idea what you mean. Jinwoo slid a folder across the table. That is evidence of every message sent to Janelle Harris, traced back to devices registered to your organization. That is a record of payments made to the photographer who took the pictures. That is testimony from the gossip site editor admitting you paid for the article. Should I continue? Yoon's smile faded. You have been busy. You made it personal when you went after an innocent woman and her child. That was a mistake. The woman is a pawn. She does not matter. She matters to me. Ah, Yoon leaned back. So the rumors are true. You have developed feelings for the help. How disappointing, Jinwoo. I expected better from you. What you expected is irrelevant. Here is what is going to happen. You will call off the marriage vote. You will leave Janelle alone. You will end this campaign against me. In exchange, I will not go to the council with this evidence and destroy your family's reputation. And if I refuse, then we go to war, and I promise you, I have more resources, more loyalty, and more motivation than you have ever had. Your family will be rubble in 6 months. Yoon's face went hard. You are threatening me? I am making you a promise. Touch what is mine again, and I will end you. There was a long, tense silence. Then Yoon stood up. You are making a mistake, Jinwoo. That woman will be your downfall. Maybe, but she will be my choice, not yours. Yoon left. His team followed. Jinwoo's lawyer looked at him. That either worked perfectly, or you just started a war. I know, Jinwoo said. Let me know which one it is. It turned out to be both. Yoon backed off the marriage vote, but he did not back off entirely. He started spreading rumors through the council, planting doubt about Jinwoo's stability and judgment. Some council members believed him. Others did not. The family fractured down the middle. Kang came to Jinwoo's office looking tired. You need to fix this. The family is eating itself. I am trying. Try harder, or step down before you take us all down with you. Is that what you want, me gone? Kang sighed. I want you to be the leader your father trained you to be. But that man would not have risked everything for a woman he barely knows. That man was miserable. That man died inside when his wife did. I am trying very hard not to be him anymore. Kang left without another word. That night, Jinwoo brought Janelle and Kofi back to the penthouse. The twins saw them walk in and ran down the stairs so fast they nearly fell. Seo-yeon grabbed Janelle around the waist and would not let go. Soo-yeon picked up Kofi and spun him around. You came back, Seo-yeon whispered into Janelle's shirt. Of course I did, sweetheart. I promised I would. People break promises, not me, never to you. Jinwoo watched this reunion and knew with absolute certainty that he had made the right choice, even if it cost him everything else. Later, after the children were in bed, he and Janelle sat in his office. She was exhausted. He was running on coffee and stubbornness, and they both knew the fight was not over. Yoon backed off the vote, but he is not done, Jinwoo said. He will try something else. What can we do? We wait, we watch, we protect what matters, and what matters. Jinwoo looked at her. You, Kofi, the twins, in that order. What about your empire? Empires fall. People are harder to replace. Janelle smiled sadly. You say that now. But if it comes down to choosing, you will choose your family's legacy. Everyone does. Then let me surprise you. 3 days later, the council called an emergency meeting. Jinwoo walked in to find every member present, including Yoon. Kang stood at the head of the table looking grim. We have reached a decision, Kang said. The council believes the current instability is untenable. We are asking you to step down voluntarily. Jinwoo felt the floor drop out from under him. You are removing me? We are giving you the option to leave with dignity. If you refuse, we will vote, and you will lose. Jinwoo looked around the table. Men he had fought beside, men he had protected, men who owed him everything, and they were throwing him away because he refused to marry someone he did not love. I see, he said quietly. And who takes over? The council will appoint an interim leader until a permanent solution is found. Translation. Kang would take over, possibly Yoon after him. Jinwoo stood up slowly. I need 24 hours to consider. You have 12, Kang said. We vote tomorrow at noon. Jinwoo left the building and drove straight to the penthouse. He found Janelle in the playroom with all 3 children. They were making a blanket fort and laughing about something. Jinwoo? Janelle saw his face and stood up immediately. What happened? Can we talk? Privately, they went to his office. He told her everything. She listened without interrupting. So they are forcing you out, she said finally. Yes, because of me, because of them, because they cannot control me anymore and it scares them. What will you do? Jinwoo looked at her. What do you think I should do? It is not my place to say. It is absolutely your place. This is happening because of you, because of us. So tell me, what would you do? Janelle thought carefully. I would ask myself what I am actually fighting for. If it is power for its own sake, then maybe they are right and you should step down. But if it is something more, if it is your daughters and their future, and the chance to be more than what your father was, then you fight, even if you lose. Jinwoo absorbed this. Then he smiled. It was a real smile, the first one she had seen from him. "You are much smarter than you pretend to be," he said. "I have to be. Smart is all I have." He crossed the room to her, slowly giving her time to move away. She did not move. "If I fight this and lose, I lose everything," he said quietly. "My position, my resources, my ability to protect you and Kofi. We would be starting over with nothing. I have started over with nothing before. It is not so bad. Janelle." "Jinwoo." She looked up at him. "I did not ask you to blow up your life for me. But if you are going to do it anyway, do it because you want something different. Not because you think you owe me something. What if I want you?" Her breath caught. "Then you are crazy, probably. But I have been half dead for 4 years and you made me feel alive again. So if I am crazy, I am fine with that." He kissed her. Soft at first, then deeper when she kissed him back. It was not dramatic or desperate. It was just two broken people finding each other and deciding they were tired of being broken alone. When they pulled apart, Janelle was crying. "I am still scared," she whispered. "Me too. This will not be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. Your daughters need stability. They need a family. We can give them that." Janelle laughed through her tears. "We are a family? A Korean gangster, a Ugandan maid, and 3 children who speak 4 languages between them. Sounds perfect to me." The vote happened at noon the next day. Jinwoo walked in and faced the council. "I have made my decision," he said. "I am not stepping down, and I am not playing this game anymore. You want to remove me? Vote. But know this, the moment you do, I walk away completely. I take my father's contacts, his offshore accounts, and every piece of leverage I have spent 10 years accumulating. I will burn this organization to the ground before I let you hand it to people who see it as a prize instead of a responsibility." The room erupted. Kang tried to restore order. Yoon was yelling. Half the council was shouting. Jinwoo just stood there and waited. Finally, Kang called for quiet. "That is a threat. That is a fact. You taught me to play this game, Kang. Do not be surprised that I learned. We can vote you out regardless. You can try. But I have one more thing to say first." Jinwoo pulled out a folder. "This is evidence of embezzlement, fraud, and racketeering by 3 members of this council. This is proof that Yoon has been siphoning funds for 2 years. This is documentation of every illegal deal you have all been involved in. I have kept this information as insurance. My father started the practice. I continued it. If you remove me, all of this goes to the authorities. Every single page." Silence. "You would destroy us all?" someone whispered. "No. You would destroy yourselves. I am just giving you the choice. Work with me, accept my decisions about my personal life, and we all move forward. Or force me out and we all burn together." It was the most ruthless thing he had ever done. It was also the smartest. The vote did not happen. The council grudgingly agreed to his terms. Yoon left the meeting looking like he had aged 10 years. Kang stayed behind. "That was a dangerous move. I learned from the best. Your father would have been proud. Or horrified, I am not sure which." "Probably both," Jinwoo agreed. He went home to find Janelle pacing in the kitchen. She saw him and ran over. "Well, I still have my job." She threw her arms around him. He caught her and held on tight. "I thought I was going to lose you," she said into his shoulder. "Not today. Not ever if I can help it." The twins appeared in the doorway. "Is Janelle staying?" Soo-yeon asked. "Yes," Jinwoo said. "Forever?" Seo-yeon asked. Jinwoo looked at Janelle. She looked back at him. "If she will have us," he said. Janelle smiled. "I will have you." 6 months later, the penthouse was louder than it had been in years. Kofi and the twins were in the playroom building a fort that defied all laws of physics. Mrs. Lim was in the kitchen making enough food for a small army. Jinwoo was in his office finishing paperwork. Janelle walked in without knocking. She was allowed to do that now. "The children want to know if we can get a dog," she said. "No. I told them you would say that." They made a presentation anyway. It involves graphs. Jinwoo looked up at her. "Graphs? Soo-yeon takes after you. It is terrifying." He smiled and pulled her into his lap. She went willingly. "How was your day?" he asked. "Good. I enrolled in classes to get my teaching credentials recognized here. It will take a year, but I will finally be able to work legally." "You do not have to work." "I want to. I want to be more than just Kofi's mom or your wife. You are already more than that." "I know, but I want to prove it to myself too." Jinwoo kissed her forehead. "Then do it. I will support whatever you want." The children burst in without warning. "We have the presentation ready," Soo-yeon announced. "Please, father," Seo-yeon added. "We made pie charts." Jinwoo looked at Janelle. She was laughing. He started laughing too. "Fine," he said. "Show me the presentation." 3 children cheered and dragged him to the playroom. Janelle followed, watching her husband, because he was her husband now, sit on the floor and seriously review a 6-year-old's arguments for dog ownership. Her phone buzzed. A message from her mother back in Uganda. "You sound happy in your letters. I am glad you found a home." Janelle looked around the room. At Jin Woo pretending to be stern while Kofi climbed on his back. At the twins arguing over what kind of dog they should get. At Mrs. Lim in the doorway smiling at the chaos. She typed back, "Finally." And for the first time in her life, Janelle Harris was not running from anything. She was running toward something. Toward love, toward family, toward a future she had never thought possible. It was messy and complicated and sometimes scary. But it was hers, and that made it perfect. So there you have it. Janelle and Jin Woo got their happy ending. The twins got their family, and Kofi got 2 big sisters and a father who would protect him with everything he had. If this story touched your heart, do me a huge favor and subscribe. I pour my heart into these stories, and your support means everything. Thank you for being here. Until the next story, take care of yourselves and the people you love. Because at the end of the day, that is all that really matters.